Oh, hello there. Come on back in. Show you where we got to today. Alright guys, welcome back to the attic. I have these leftover 2x4s that I ripped out from the supports here. That's what I'm going to use for the baseboard here. This one's like, I think it's about 16 foot long. So I'm going to use this 16 footer, and then I got a couple other pieces. I'll trim another piece for the other end. What we're going to do is I want to make this half wall. What I have here is my 4-foot level. And I was just measuring out to see how much I needed height-wise, because my intention is to lay this out like this. This is 4 foot the level, so if I do 4 footers, they'll go right up inside of these rafters, and then I can tack nail into each one of these rafters. So the easy way to do it is I'm going to cut a bunch of 4 footers, and then I'll lay everything down here, and what I'll do is I'll nail them every 16 inches starting at that first rafter. And then what I can do is I'll put marks on this board for 16 inches, and then literally I'm going to lay everything down, and I'll tack them all from underneath, and then I'm going to stand it up, and then I'll line each one of them into these things, and then I'll tack them all in. And that way, what I'm going to do is I have this marked out with a string line. I'm going to snap a string line up here, right across these rafters, so I know what level is. And then literally when I get done, I can just boom, and just nail it right up there, right at that line on the rafter. This will be super easy to do. I have to add a toe piece in the end there. I put this just over 8 feet away from that wall so that when I put the boards up, they'll line up perfectly. I'll be able to use 2 8-foot boards, and then I can butt up the next board right to that in the corner, so it'll be nice and even. So that's the only thing I'm going to do in here. I don't know. I think I'm going to go 10 foot to the wall here where the door is going to go. So I'll have to measure that out perfectly, put a mark on here so I can have the board, because that means I'll have to cut a board at 2 foot, so I'll cut them 1.5. But we'll see. I'm going to see how it goes. I might still do 8 foot, but I got plenty of room back here because this is about 21 foot wide, so I don't really need that much in the attic back there. I wanted to put more in here in this little hangout room for Liv. And then I think we're going to put a TV up there so that they can game and stuff in here. It'll be a neat little hideout. So let me get going. I'm going to snap this string line real quick. This board's in place where I want it, so that I marked it out. So when I lay everything down, I'll know right where to put it back up. And so I can use this now to get my spot for my string line, and then I'll snap that out real quick. Make a little pencil mark. Perfect. So that'll be one side. We'll get some chalk all over it, and then we'll line it up. What I'll do is just stretch this all the way out. And all we do is pull it tight over this side, and then we'll just snap it off. Just like that. Alright, it'll set up our line. Take this out. You can see right here, that's the chalk line. So it just snaps off little lines all the way across here. So now I know it's going to be nice and even. So what I'm going to do is I got to run downstairs, grab my 4 footers, and then we'll lay this whole thing out. And I'll show you how we nail it all up. What I did is I lined this up over here, right on my line. I know I'm going to need a board right on the end, so that'll be my first 1.5 inches will be that board. So from there we got to go 16 inches on center. So we're going to take 3/4 off. So if we want to be at 16 3/4 for each one. So what I'll do is just make a little dash mark. So I'm going to go grab those 4 footers. I'm not going to show you that because it's just 2x4s cut at 4 foot lengths evenly. So I'll run down, grab those, and then we'll set this up to nail it. Got all my 4-footers. Now we're gonna line them up. We're gonna start down here, make sure we're lined up. Make sure your hand's out of the way. I want to pin these up against here so when you're nailing it, you have a nice solid surface to nail to. Otherwise, if you're doing this out here, every time you kick that board wants to kick with the nail. So that's why I want to do it this way and pin it all up. Then I'll drag it back and stand it up. But at least that way I know all the nails are sunk. What I'll do is slide this back like so. All right, took a little ingenuity, but we got it. Line in the floor, looks pretty good. All right, that looks pretty good. So that's it right there, guys. So next up, I got to insulate from here all the way up the cavity, every one of these 16 or 17 cavities. And then I'm going to leave a little opening over there so I can pull a piece out in case I need to get back in here for something. Got the wall done, now we're going to do some insulation. I'm not going to get too much into it, it's pretty straightforward. I'm going with R19, which is made for 2x6 walls, which is this size up here. But I'm also using it in here because I have plenty of room because there's nothing behind this wall. So I'm just going to let the 2x6 insulation over and hang into that room. I'll just staple it up here like I put these pieces in. These are 4-foot pieces to match us all the way up to there. And then I'll have cut pieces to go up to the next run up here, which I think is about 9.5 feet, something like that. I cut a few of them. You can see I cut around the outlet, got in behind there, made sure it's all good. I still have to staple all of it. Cut a small piece over here, but literally how I do this is I just measure out. I need 4 feet, so I measure out 4 feet, make a little cut, then take some kind of straight edge. I just happen to have a level here at the time. Push it down, and then all you want to do is just cut in. You want a nice sharp razor blade for this, because it takes a little work to cut through all the insulation. And just want to go through it like that. So then you got yourself a 4-foot piece. You can bring it over here. Let me adjust you. And then we'll just stuff it in here. And then what I'm doing is I'm just pulling the paper down to the floor. That way I know it's all the way at the bottom of that stud. And then I'm literally just making a little cut here to get around this little joist bump here from the upper joist. And just pull the flaps out like that. Just like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'll take the stapler, just fold these flaps over, I'll staple them both at the same time. It'll make it easier. But for now they stay in there so I can just go through and do all of them. And I'm going to do this whole half wall. I got smaller stuff for 2x4 walls to do that wall. And then we got to do the joists, or the rafters. And then we'll be ready. After I do that, we'll go and build this door frame here, because it's easier to insulate now and then build the door frame over it. So that's my intention. So let me continue on with this. I'm not going to bore you. I'm going to put my mask back on. And I got a whole bunch of rolls I got to cut. And then I'll show you when we're done.